More episodes. Episode
Believe
291.
it or not, people.
Yes, and I did get a couple responses saying people kind of liked you rhyming. So if you want to rhyme with 291, you feel free.
It's looking like a good time. You thought I was going to say fun, but I did. I'm waiting for episode 300.
That's actually my objection to the rhyming is that there's only so many you can do.
Right.
That makes
episode
sense.
291 better get
Done?
yourself a done and a
bun.
Well, not a gun.
See, this is why we stopped,
we don't
people.
want
You
we
happy?
Don't want that. No, I'm not.
Anyway.
And neither are they.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Are you? What's going on?
I just did my vision board for 2019.
Oh,
it's
God.
a little late, but
what?
I feel very good about it.
What is it, a bulletin board or what? A poster?
Well, no, it's like a little piece of paper, like a 8.5 by 11.
Oh, okay.
deal.
And what did you put on there? Anything you want to share?
I put a lot of like self-care things, like just a lot of phrases, like,
Yeah, inspiration.
You can do it, and what did you do today to motivate yourself to exercise?
Wow.
And those kind of things.
That's
So,
fun.
Yeah,
You're
I
feeling
love doing
positive.
that. I am feeling positive.
Do you always do a vision board? I'm not familiar with this with you.
I'd say there's been like maybe 1 or 2 years that I haven't. The last year I didn't do one, but the years before I have.
Okay. And you feel like it actually makes a difference in your year?
Yeah, I think when I like to go back and look, I always save them, and I look at old ones, like one that I had from like 4 or 5 years ago. I had a picture of the car that I now own.
No.
And so that's really fun when I can like look at it and go, oh, I achieved that. I achieved that. Like back in the day, there were ones that like said, get into grad school or get a, all A's or whatever. And it's nice when I'm like, oh, I did that.
That's cool. I like the idea of saving them.
Yeah. And then you can look back and go, man, 10 years ago, I wanted this car and now I have it.
I don't know how you organize all this stuff in your house.
I mean, they're just on little pieces of paper. So I have a box that has all my art from like forever. It's like one of those art, full, like big, cases that all the art students carry around in college. And I have one of those filled with all my goodies from back in the day.
This is reminding me, I wanted to follow up with you because I did watch an episode of Tidying Up in response to your...
what'd you think?
Well, of course, it's so fun to watch. And, there is that feeling. The same as like when you watch any show about like someone that's kind of fucked up and then you feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah.
But it was that first episode where the couple kept calling each other babe and like they clearly hated each other.
Yeah.
And so here's my only objection because I am a big fan of organization. I'm a super purger. I have a rule like one thing in, one thing out. Like I'm into the whole principle. I am not into her practice of making it more of a spiritual act where you thank the clothes and say thanks for helping me in my life and then you get rid of it. That seems like a weird combination to me.
I think it's good for people who have difficulty letting go.
Oh, why? Why does it help them?
Because for you, it's like, oh, yeah, no big deal. I have a system, one thing in, one thing out. But for somebody who has an attachment to the item,
yeah,
having a ritual, I mean, we do this in therapy. There's like an entire class on like creating rituals and why it's really important to have something to kind of seal it or start it.
Yeah.
And it makes it more, I don't know. It does something to us when you're able to create some sort of ritual around it. And then it kind of changes how you look at that item when you're able to say, thank you for serving me, and now I don't need you anymore. And it kind of like gets rid of that feeling of, oh my God, but I still need this. Because people almost form like attachments with an item. So you have to sever that attachment in the same way you would like, it's like a relationship you have to end, and it feels too traumatic to just take it away.
Maybe that's the problem then for me is that like, why are people developing these relationships with like a cookie tin or, something?
That's like there's a deeper meaning in it. Like, what does it represent? What is it,
Who
like I
gave
remember
it to
my mom.
you, or...
Exactly. What does it mean? And then you have to kind of unpack that. Okay, well, if this is that's why she saves the, like, memento kind of category for the end, because you have to like
Yeah.
You have to become used to getting rid of things, because something that's sentimental will be even more difficult. Like, everything becomes sentimental. So you get used to getting rid of things like clothes that don't have deeper meanings. And then when you come to this thing that's sentimental, you go, okay.
I can do it.
I can do it. Is the memory still there? Yes. Does this represent, what does this represent to me? I still have the relationship. We can say thank you for reminding me of these times, but I'm ready to let you go.
Okay, so then the other part that I practice, I do not keep a lot of books in my house, and I get rid of them when I'm done with them. But a lot of people really love collecting books and keeping them on the shelf, and even if they're not going to read them, even if they've read them a million times. And so this was like a big controversial part of the show where a lot of people were like, fuck off with your book prescriptions to get rid of books. Yeah. And I wonder what you think about it.
I don't know. I think it depends on, like, anything. You can have, are they serving you? Are they creating more stress in your life?
But
if you've just got them, I think they call it like paper, right? Do books fall into the paper
I think
category?
So, yeah.
I think they do. So I think it's when books become then magazines, which then are all over the table, and they're in newspapers.
Mail.
It's like, what do you really need? And,
Okay, but like...
And it organizes your brain, Like, you can have 100 books, but you can't have 5,000.
But her idea of it has to spark joy, I feel like is kind of bullshit, because if somebody said 1,000 books sparks joy for them, each one, if they went through every title and said this sparks joy, I think she would be like, no. I don't think that she means it when she says as long as it sparks joy, you can keep it.
But if you had like the rest of your house is totally organized and everything was fine and you just loved your books, I don't think there would be a problem.
Okay.
I don't know if she would be like,
She wouldn't hold fast to that.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know. We'd have to ask her.
I mean, speaking of rituals we love, how about the vitamins?
Perfect.
Now it's become more about this segue. Ritual vitamins are so awesome. I've talked about them for a long time, but it's the perfect time of year to start a good habit. So if you're going to do that, you ought to get the nutrients you need that most of us don't get from our diets. Here's why these are better than anyone else. They taste like mint. I just told this to somebody, and they were like, what? That's a game changer. They taste like mint, so they don't make you feel like you just ate garbage. And they're time release, so you don't get that sick feeling if you're like, I didn't eat enough food before I took this or whatever, which is, for me, a game changer, because now I can take vitamins every day. And it's delivered to your door. It's a subscription, but you can snooze it if you need to. You can put it on pause, cancel, whatever you need to do. And better health doesn't happen overnight. Start your year with an essential for women, a small step that helps create a healthy foundation for 2019 and beyond. Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start your ritual today. That's ritual.com/braincandy. How happy was I when you said ritual?
Yeah, perfect. Sorry, I had a little throat tickle in there. I got excited. Coughing.
Well, this is a really... Were you? I didn't even hear you.
Oh, good. I was trying to be super quiet about it.
Wow, that's amazing. Because we're recording at a different time, and my house was really cold. And I'm like, well, I'm putting my furnace on. It's just what I'm doing, and because it's super loud. So how are you able to cough, but I can't have my furnace on? This is amazing.
I was a silent cougher away from the mic because I'm a professional over here.
Do you think that the tidying up season improves and keeps getting better, or each episode is similar?
Yes, I do, and here's why. Because I think they did an excellent job with casting.
Mm-hmm.
They, I think it's the next episode 2 or 3, where she, and this was my favorite one. I was really hoping you'd see this so we could talk about the cultural diversity component. But she has a Japanese family, and it is really interesting to. Right?
Yeah.
And it's a Japanese family that has hoarding tendencies for sure. And so it's really interesting to see the people who have the same background. And then you see how sometimes we meet somebody who doesn't speak the language and we almost talk to them in this tone where we're talking very slowly,
yes.
They're doing that, and they're talking to her in this tone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, it doesn't even matter if you're from the same culture, or you just do that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see how a Japanese family reacted to these, something that is very kind of, in a way, you think, oh, like Japanese people are like, this is kind of like where that comes from, and this whole art of organizing. And, I loved that. And they have a lot of LGBT couples on there and different, family backgrounds and combined families and all this stuff. So I thought the casting and to show how like organizing affects different people at different stages of their lives. Like, you have kids who are leaving, so you want to get that stuff out, or you have kids now and you need to organize because there's a million of them running around and toys are everywhere, whatever. So I liked that.
I think it's funny how I keep reading articles about how now donations at all these places are up like 40%. And, there's a line around the block to donate to Goodwill. And I mean, it's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Suze, I went.
Go ahead.
I went on December 30th to
God.
Goodwill. It was like...
Big mistake.
Oh, mistake. I had a long list of things I was doing that day. I was like going to the dentist and going to, go grocery shopping and pick up the dry cleaning. The thing that took me the longest on my list of things to do was waiting in line at the Goodwill. It took me 45 minutes because everybody wanted to get that little piece of paper that says they donated before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So... I waited. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And then I had already committed and there were people behind me and I'm like, oh, well, I'm stuck here. So
we went to IKEA the other day and I noticed there was a ton of people in the section where you buy like organizing crap. I think that's a big thing where people have the intention of organizing and they buy all the gear, and that is one thing I really like about the Marie Kondo method is that she doesn't say you need fancy stuff. Like you can use a shoebox. Yeah. I think that's
I found has been the most, like I redid all the shoe section in my closet and I tried those like, plastic shoe containers, but they're not perfectly rectangular. Shoe boxes work the best.
Right. There's nothing wrong with those.
No.
Yeah. So I do like that because usually when people come out with some sort of thing that goes viral and everyone's doing it, they have a product they want to sell you, which she does have products, but she is very open and says you can just use whatever you have. So
do you have an organizational item that you've purchased where you're like, oh my God, that was a complete waste and how dumb?
Oh my God, 1,000,000 times, especially office stuff.
Oh, I remember did I give this to you or did you give this to me? The tape roll. It was like,
oh yeah, that's the worst.
I mean, like it was supposed to hold 2 rolls of tape
and
all this stuff, but it didn't work at all.
No. And I think
you gave it to me and then I gave it to the Goodwill.
Right. It's just like there's not a great way to organize all that weird stuff in your office. That's what I found.
Yeah.
But I'll have to ask
you
Marie.
Introduced me to my favorite item, which is the Lazy Susan large compartment divider, like round section thing for all your makeup or all your spices, anything. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, that's a handy little gadget.
Get that. Don't get the office organizer.
No, that's no good.
Yeah. I spent like $40 one time on this purse organizer that's
I've had one of those.
That's supposed to go in the bottom of your purse.
Worst.
And it was for my really nice bag. No. It changed the shape of the bag. It made it look like I was carrying around, shoe boxes. And it just did not look good. And I'm like, oh, God. I mean, like, it's the thought that's nice, but
I can't believe you spent $40 on one.
The bag was really expensive, so I'm like, I do not want to ruin the bottom of a bag with a pen that comes open.
Sure,
it's supposed to be like designed for no.
Foiled again. By the way, when I woke up today, I saw that the Oscar nominations were being announced.
Oh yeah,
and I am pissed. Because
why?
You'll be happy because you love Bohemian Rhapsody, and that was nominated for Best Picture. But Mr. Rogers got snubbed in the documentary category.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come on. That means there must have been some really good documentaries out this year.
It won the Golden Globe.
So good.
It won.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, and then it didn't even get nominated for an Oscar.
Dude, it should at least be nominated.
Right.
What else is in that category?
This movie I watched called Minding the Gap. It's about skateboarders and what's going on in their lives, and it was good, but I'm surprised it would beat my favorite.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, that was on Hulu, I think.
I'm super into skateboarding stuff too.
Oh, you'll love it because it is beautiful cinematography where this kid was documenting them for like 10, 15 years, as they grew up.
Oh, that's awesome. What is it, Jerry Seinfeld, who's like, when I see a group of guys skateboarding, I'm like, you'll be all right.
I think it is, right. Why
and
is
it's
that,
totally
though?
true.
Why?
Because Landon and I were just watching like another TV show on like skateboarders and everything, and the amount of like they fall so much and they always get back up and they keep going, and the camaraderie and everybody cheering people on, and it's really sweet. Like when you see a group of skateboard guys, like they are the best supporters, because it's all about like, yeah, you're going to fail 1,000 times, but you're going to get it that one time, and everybody's just waiting for that one time. And it's like a metaphor for life. Like you fall down, you get up. You're going to, you keep going, you're going to get better. You try something new and maybe you fail, but maybe you have some friends who show you how it's done and they cheer you on, like all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, they are going to be all right, as long as you stay away from the drugs.
I think I have weird, like, what's the word? Prejudice against them, because they're like hooligans often.
Yeah, that's why I was like, as long as they stay away from the drugs, they're fine. But skateboarders aren't. It's the ones who are hanging out doing nothing. Mm-hmm. They're the ones you have to worry about because they're bored. These skateboarders don't want to do anything other than just skateboard and mess around.
If you happen to be somebody who's documenting things, of you skateboarding, if that applies, or if, you just get married and you have a video, but it's not digitized, I have a solution for you. It's Legacy Box.
Oh, that'd be perfect for old skate videos.
See?
Yeah, man. And if you have some of those, you definitely better get them all like digitally rendered so that you can put them up so I can watch it.
Exactly, because you probably have all these old VHS or reels or even just pictures that you need to get on a good old-fashioned USB or digitized in some way, and Legacy Box can do that for you, because most of these things are just collecting dust, and you can't even enjoy them. So why not preserve them forever? You can get your mom's stuff, your grandparents' stuff, whatever, send it off. They take good care of it, and then they send it back to you. And also, they send you the digitized version. And there's never been a better time to digitally preserve your memories. Visit legacybox.com today to get started. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering our listeners an exclusive discount. Go to legacybox.com/brain to get 40% off your first order. Go to legacybox.com/brain. Save 40% today. Get started preserving your past.
See, that's like an easy category to organize, and then you could just check it off the list.
Yes, and then you'll feel better. It'll get you on a roll.
Yes. Totally.
But there were many of the documentaries that I hadn't seen, so I want to go through the list because.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, get the scoop. What's going? I did watch a crazy documentary the other day that I almost texted you, but then I thought, no, she shouldn't watch this. It's too triggering. It's called Abducted in Plain Sight. And it's about...
Oh, my gosh. I saw it, and I was like, I can't even click on it. I didn't see it. I saw it come up in my, hey, you should watch this. And I was like, Netflix.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch it because this is about a girl in the 70s in a family, a really nice family, who, had another family that they were really good friends with. The parents were both friends with the other parents, and then the kids were the similar ages. You know how that is. And the dad in the other family abducted one of the little girls. And so that part of the story is told in the first 5-10 minutes of the film.
Oh, my God. Which means there's more twisted shit coming up. Right? I hate when they do that / love when they do that.
Sarah, it is insane. And I'll just do this without spoiling anything, which is to say that the naivete of people, especially parents who, are very trusting, maybe they're in the church, they live in a small town, so everybody knows each other, that can lead to really fucked up situations.
Yep.
Because
oh my God.
Let me just say there are more than one person that was involved with this man. And then he abducted the child. So he was using other people to get to this girl. And
oh my God.
You would not believe it. And the things that
And he had daughters.
I believe so. He had 5 kids. So
oh my God.
They didn't go into detail about the kids or wife. And so I'm left wondering what happened to them.
Yeah.
But
oh my God.
You would not believe what happens.
Well, now I have to see it.
Oh, but you're going to be triggered real bad.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure to schedule it right before my therapy session.
It's really, I mean, it's hard to believe, especially back in the 70s earlier when people just trusted systems and, you know, like, oh, he's
well,
so
and that
nice.
was like the days of stranger danger, where it was like, as long as you know him, you're fine. But
Even
the weird people you don't know.
Even the FBI agent who was working on the case said that he had never been taught anything but stranger danger. The FBI agent.
So,
yeah.
Well, I'm going in March or April, I think. Maybe April. I'm going to the military base out in Hawaii to do a lecture on trauma informed response.
Really?
So that I can train people who are first responders and people who are like on military bases who have to hear these stories, how to receive the information in a healthy way.
Really?
Yes, because it is only right now that we're really learning that the way that we respond to trauma and what we do with these stories when people tell us really affects their outcomes.
What?
Yeah.
So, what don't they know that you're going to be informing them?
You know, a lot of it is just simple language. Like,
Really?
it's a lot of stuff that we already, like, it seems like really obvious to us, of like the blaming language, or even like, you know, we all know like that what was she wearing kind of question, but
Sure.
kind of unpacking that and like, you know, what questions are similar to that can have the same feelings, or how do we like word things so it's not blaming the victim and more like gathering information and what's the right timeline, what's, you know, all those kind of things.
Why do you think it feels like some of this is going backwards?
I don't know if it seems like it's going backwards. I think it's more like we're shining a light on things and we're recognizing, you know, it's like flipping on a light switch, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is what we've been doing wrong. We see like the effects of this. I think people always go in with good intentions, but, you know, a lot of times for like police officers or those FBI agents and things like that, their goals are very, their goals are like, I need to catch the perpetrator. I need to find out who did this, rather than putting the victim first, or survivor, or however you want to say it, like saying, what do they need right now in this moment? It's almost like a different, you know, when I first went into college, I went into criminology because I was like, oh, I want to catch the guys who did this. And then I realized that I need to work with the victims, and I need to work with those people because I want to do more of the helping thing versus it's just like a different energy. It's a different, like, listening versus, like, action, you know?
Yeah.
And they got to switch on more of, like, a listening energy and, like, receiving information than, you know, having almost, like, their own agenda.
I don't know. I guess I hope you're right that it's not going backwards, but even just the statistics on white supremacy and people associating with organizations like the KKK has surged in the last 2 years.
That's like a whole other...
True, but I think they're related. I think misogyny and racism are related and tend to be perpetrated by the same people. And so I suspect that if there were groups that were like pro-rape, they would be surging too.
God.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, those are like what do they call those men who...
Incels.
Are, yes, like that. And you know,
Like that.
So we're talking about this a lot in my supervision about toxic masculinity and how, you know, we really do have to look at how these changes are affecting men and how they've been socialized to, like, that masculinity means a very specific thing, and they've been socialized to, like, with that meaning. And, you know, of like, you need to be aggressive and you need to not show your emotion and you need to always be, you know, achieving or whatever it is. Just a very, like, all this toxic masculinity stuff. And then we have these, you know, we get these men in therapy who are, you know, in there for couples therapy or even individual therapy. And they're like, not being able to express my emotions is really affecting me and I don't know how to do it. And all the messages that I've gotten growing up tell me don't do this. And they're like stuck in this place where they like want to change, but everything tells them not to. And so they're experiencing this really dramatic shift as well of like, how do I figure this out? What does this all mean? Where do I even go for these lessons? What does it mean to be a man now? And how can I still be a man and also take care of my emotional needs and blah, blah, blah. And it's really hard. I got to give it to him. Like, I understand the pushback of no, and that's why there are these guys who are like digging their heels in of like, no, I don't want to change. This is like me having to surrender my entire identity when we're saying, no, we just need to kind of expand it. And it is hard for them.
I have the perfect toxic masculinity story.
Oh, tell me.
Which is an oxymoron. Basically, this dude was sent to the hospital because he had back pain, and he decided to treat himself by injecting his own semen in his arm.
No.
Yes, he did.
No.
He did, Sarah.
Who thinks... think about the thought process of that. Like, the amount of steps.
Let's go through it.
So first you say, what do you think the first thought is?
My back hurts.
I need to find an alternative. This pain is too much. I need to find an alternative treatment.
Yeah.
And I know what is the strongest, most potent thing out there, my own semen. Is that what we're saying? What do you think the thought is?
Yeah, I do. I think he thought it's the lifeblood, right? It's this thing that creates life.
Okay. I mean, like,
So
I wonder if it's like any, like, other things where, they had to go through, like, he tried injecting other things, and this was like, or was this the first on the list?
He had done it once a month for 18 months.
Okay. Does that come with any, what are the side effects?
Well, his arm was really swollen and red, and they did this, x-ray or whatever it is, MRI or whatever they do to see what was going on. And I don't remember the words, but I don't know if there was air trapped in there or something. And so obviously it was getting infected.
Oh my God, gross. Infected with your own semen. Now that is about as nasty as it gets.
Right.
Why don't you just drink it?
Good point. That seems very severe to inject.
Because that would be gay.
Well, I have no segue from that, but here's the deal. Brandless products are out of this world.
Especially their pencil sharpener.
Oh, you got that?
I know it sounds like no big deal.
Yeah.
But I have yet to find a good makeup pencil sharpener that doesn't destroy my lip liners.
The search is over?
Magical. And $3.
I know. Yes.
I mean, the prices are insane.
It's so
Tell
cool.
him.
So this company is called Brandless, and I had seen Jessica Seinfeld posting about it all the time on her Instagram, and I thought, what is this all about? And she kept saying everything's $3, and I just thought, well, how is that possible? I don't get it. Well, then we went to the website, and we found all these awesome products where they're organic, they're fair trade, they're non-GMO, really high-quality products. And again, they're super affordable. Then they came in the mail, and I don't know if you bought the chocolate chip cookies.
No.
Sarah.
Well, I didn't know.
It's life-changing. And this is not an exaggeration. After we ate the bag in one sitting, me and Lincoln, I did a separate order of just cookies.
Nice.
I ordered like 9 bags.
Shipping requirements? We're like, I need 40 bags?
Because they're amazing and they're so light and unbelievable. But really, the beauty is that these are high-quality, wonderful products that you can feel good about ordering, and they're affordable. Yes. And right now, our listeners can receive $10 off the first orders of $50 or more and free shipping at Brandless. Go to brandless.com, code BRAINCANDY to start saving on high-quality products. Don't wait a second. Go to brandless.com, enter BRAINCANDY, and you get $10 off for your first order of $50 or more and free shipping. Start enjoying high-quality products you deserve today. I just love that they're transparent. They cut out the middleman. You know how much everything is. You're not surprised. I was reading, speaking of that, I was reading an article about how Amazon basically ruined online shopping, and it was about
Yes.
Sarah. I knew you'd be into that. So
I watched a whole documentary thing on that
too. Maybe
Dude.
it was a similar thing. Was it talking about like the way that the prices fluctuate and people don't really...
Yep.
Oh my God. Tell me what
They
you saw.
call it dynamic pricing.
Yes. Tell me what you saw.
Oh, well, I saw that like Amazon cares more about the stockholders, like the shares and like how it does on the market than the actual growth of like an item or a product or how much money that's making. They look at like the overall, obviously, I don't know the details there.
Yeah.
But basically they put other people out of business by dropping the prices so low to the point where they're not even making any money. They're losing money on it. But like they keep all of your data and they keep giving you like, hey, do you need to buy diapers again? Hey, do you need to whatever? So they drop the price so low that, even if it's a $2 difference, you're like, oh, I'm going to get my diapers on Amazon. Then you get them there and then you keep getting them
That's
there
right.
rather than going to Target anymore. And then they can inflate the prices again, put the other guys out of business. And I noticed that my prices will change.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, and in this article I was reading, they gave you tips and tricks on how to avoid the dynamic pricing like traps that things set you up in. Things like deleting all your cookies.
Yeah.
This one was crazy, that different zip codes give different pricing. So try your zip code, like if you're going to online shop somewhere, but then try a friend's zip code or somebody else's zip code, maybe even in a more rural area. Pricing will be different.
Wow.
Yep.
That is interesting. I didn't realize it was customer specific.
Yes. Oh, all of it is. And for
God.
stores that you go to frequently. So this was in Wired magazine that I read this. And it said that stores that you frequently shop online at will keep track of your visits. And even like if you have it set up to where your location tracking is on, that when you're in a mall, they'll advertise you there, but they won't advertise you at a cheaper price. They'll advertise you at the highest. They'll like, try to get, because they're like, oh, she's bought pants from Express before. Let's give it to her at 20% off. And then maybe if you don't go there a lot, the discount will be 40% off.
Oh my God.
It's totally, you got to like delete all your cookies all the time.
Well,
you got to, yeah.
I was not familiar with these things, but I guess there was a period of time, and maybe they still do it, where they'll send you like a little button that you can put, for example, in your laundry room. And when you run out of detergent, you just push the button and it orders more. And in Germany, they found it to be, unlawful or illegal because they said that, customers didn't know what they were ordering. They didn't have enough information. And then Amazon could basically charge whatever they want, and people were getting screwed. And so that small sort of justice system intervention is important, but it's just kind of not enough. Because that's just in Germany, Well, did you read about Jeff Bezos' divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. She's making out like a bandit.
Well, I was annoyed, though, because during that day, they put out a list of the top billionaires. And there wasn't one woman on the list, number one. Oh. But whenever they get the divorce, she'll be on the list because she'll be the richest woman in the world.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, but then, of course, it brought out the misogyny there, too. People on Twitter, they were furious. I can't believe it. Like, no pussy is worth $70 billion, or whatever it was. And I was just like, oh, my God, I hate everything.
Yeah.
So depressing. Ugh. But I don't know to what extent she assisted in starting the company. There's sort of mixed.
I think a significant amount, because, like, at least from what I heard, he said, like, they're friends, and it seems like a amicable divorce or whatever. And he seems like he's being real, like,
respectful.
Yeah.
Right. It is kind of disturbing that anyone would be that rich, but go ahead.
Oh my God. Well, Amazon, that's it.
Right.
It's like the whole
exactly
thing.
And the whole problem.
I think the show is called Patriot Act or something like that. It's with Hassan Minhaj on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
That's the one where I heard about all the Amazon stuff.
He talks about it.
Yeah, so he does every episode. He does a different
that's
subject.
cool. I like that.
And he breaks it down and adds some jokes, and it's real good. And so it's fun to do that. But in line with all of the automatic, voice activated buying and stuff like that, I was reading another article that was talking about IBM's new product called the Watson Assistant. Have you heard of this?
Yes. What is that?
So it's kind of like that. It's like this voice activated shopping assistant that's kind of like your Siri, where you're like, "Hey Siri, order dishwasher detergent." Oh my God, please don't order it. Okay, good. I'm just making sure it's not ordering it right now for me because I have an Apple Watch. But so this new IBM Watson thing that they're developing is they're taking it to another level. So what this thing does, what do they call it? Conversational commerce, I guess. And they're these chat bots that are capable of helping you decide what it is you're looking for.
Oh,
so
Lord.
you go into, you're shopping online, and maybe you find a pair of pants that's close to what you want, but you just say to this thing, I like that. It says a clothing shopper might say, that's about what I like, but the thing Selena Gomez was wearing the other night was closer.
Oh my
and then
God.
the machine will find something that's even closer to that. And then the very last line of this article, which is what? And then it just cuts off and it doesn't tell me how they're doing this or where this technology comes from. But it says, we're working on an idea where we show them the image and they can pick from similar options. We've also begun using linguistics and tonal analysis
Oh my
to
God.
detect customer emotions
Stop.
such as anger, happiness, and disgust. So they will know by your tone of how you go, I don't like those, that you really didn't like the pants or that you really liked the pants.
This is insane.
Which is crazy to me because I'm like, most husbands and wives can't even figure that tone out. So now we're going to have a computer that does it?
That's such a good point.
How about just a regular one in my house that says, he's not mad. He's just, internalizing his emotions from his conversation with his mother or whatever.
I hope that this can read sarcasm in this house.
Right. I'm like, this seems like, I feel like we're using this for things maybe that, I don't know. There's other ways to apply this technology.
Well, a good way to apply technology these days is to customize your hair products. I can't even believe you can do this. It's so awesome.
Dude, I am obsessed with my conditioner. I used it this morning. My hair has been super silky and shiny because I got the smoothing stuff in there. Boom.
It is really awesome. Function of Beauty is the company, and you can go on there and everyone's hair is different. And it seems so obvious now to be like, oh, you actually should probably get something designed for your hair. But, up until recently, I didn't even know this was a thing. So it's so cool. You can go on there, you do this real quick quiz about what your hair is all about and what you want from the products. And then they send it to you. Mine is purple because I want the kind that prevents brassiness when you dye your hair. And it is so awesome. And effective, too. I feel like my hair has improved in just a couple weeks.
Same.
It's basically salon-level quality at a better price, which, what's not to love about that? It has safe, natural ingredients, and even the bottle says your name, so it's super cute. But basically, it's been a wonderful product for me. I got a Facebook post from somebody who tagged me and said they are loving theirs, and that makes me happy. And our listeners will receive 20% off your first custom formula. All you have to do is go to functionofbeauty.com now and take the 2-minute hair profile quiz, design your 100% unique shampoo and conditioner formula, and use code BRAINCANDY at checkout for that 20% off your first order at functionofbeauty.com. And that's code BRAIN at checkout for 20% off at functionofbeauty.com. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Okay, this is what I want to know.
Yes.
Did you read about the restaurant in Paris that closed recently, which was notable because it is a nudist restaurant?
I sure did.
And what do you think of this?
I mean, I feel like anytime you combine the possibility of splattered bacon grease or dropped knives near important body parts, you might be running into trouble. And also, nothing makes me feel more insecure than eating when I feel like eating at a pool. Have you ever ordered food
Sarah,
when you're at a pool?
you were so
oh my
right.
God, you feel like a pig if you're eating French fries in a bikini.
You have never been more right.
And so that's what I think with this is like, you know, when I heard this, it reminded me of that restaurant that was popular maybe like 5 or 6 years ago where you'd eat in the dark. Yes, Sue's.
Yeah,
and I'm like, people love that shit because you're not judged.
Opposite.
You could eat what it's the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm like, no wonder this didn't work. What the hell are they thinking in France?
That is the real question: is who greenlit this thing?
Yeah.
And put their money into it because they had to have investors and stuff, and maybe they thought, oh, it's like a cool novelty, and it's like it's kind of naughty. You get to see other people naked, so like,
oh, I don't like that.
I mean, it's so insane.
It is, and like, oh god.
Let's walk through what that would be like.
Yes, yes. So, okay,
how do you think it works when you get there?
I think first you have to say. You're making the decision to go there. So do you invite somebody with you? Do you say, like, is this like you and do you go with a date? Like, is it you and your wife? Are you into looking at other people naked? Is this like a voyeuristic thing? Or are there people who like to be watched? Like, somebody's either going there with the intention of, hey, I really like when people look at me naked, or they're going there with the intention of, hey, I really want to see other people naked.
Totally.
Like, it's not, right? It's
my favorite part was when it said in the article that between each guest they have to like replace the covers on the seats.
Oh, gross. Oh my
Sarah.
God. And don't even get me started on like what the underside of that table looks like. Who knows?
Yeah, probably just jizz everywhere.
Yeah, they're not cleaning things right. I mean, there's a bunch of problems with this.
Right.
And then other question.
Yeah.
Are the servers naked?
I don't.
So they're fully clothed?
I think they are.
That's fucking weird.
I think they are. Or at least they have aprons, like full body aprons.
Oh my. Or what if they just had aprons covering up their, like, important bits?
Right.
And then, oh my God, what if it's like 5-star dining and like the server comes out and they put like a napkin on your lap like they do?
And then
Here
the
you go,
guys
sir.
like pitch in a tent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Women's wearing a lobster bib just to like...
How much would it take for you to be paid to do it, to go with me?
Oh.
Man.
How many people are at this restaurant?
I think it's
I assume it's a
normal-
no-camera situation.
Yeah, it's no cameras, and then they have no windows either.
No, you could... I'd probably do it for $500.
Really? $500?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
I mean, that seems low.
Oh, I would do it for $500.
Really?
Assuming everybody else in the restaurant's naked too, and they're paying for dinner.
That's true. And I can
like,
see
okay.
you. You'd get your BDE, big dick energy, and just like
Totally.
bebop in there, like no problemo.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes in places where it's like nudity is like customary or part of it, I get very confident. Like Korean day spas.
That's right. You do
I feel
say
so good. I'm just like naked, no problem. I'm totally the naked person in like the locker room. I don't even care.
Really?
Because I went through a stage where I like was really shy and embarrassed about it. But then I realized like it's more when somebody else was naked in a locker room, I was the one who was more embarrassed. So I was like, oh, well, who cares? Everybody's like, it's like their own shit. So I'm just this is what you're supposed to do in a locker room.
Yeah.
And so if they have a problem with it,
I
it's
can
more their
understand that more than, going and sitting down on a chair.
Right.
And, ew.
Right. I've never been naked, except that one time I had to run up a hill naked
I know,
for the
I was
show.
thinking about
But
that.
besides that, I've never really been I've never, been naked in public without.
How many?
Except I think maybe I have because I drove home the other night and my husband was getting changed in the bathroom and I definitely saw him naked from our street. And I was like, oh, wow, that window open, you can see if it's nighttime. So I made sure to shut that window. And I think I maybe have given some neighbors some shows before.
Wait a minute.
But it's like only a very specific place. Like you have to be driving down the street and looking and
someone be naked. So
yeah.
Basically, you had a window that didn't have a curtain or blind.
Well, we did. It was just like
kind of open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Good to know, huh?
Yeah, really good to know.
Your neighbors
but
are
I went in my
probably so
spa
happy.
naked last night and I didn't give a fuck.
Wow. This is all. Yeah, I know what you mean though about how it makes you think of that restaurant where they're in the dark. And do you remember that Evan, our friend from the show, went to that restaurant?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Canada they had one. I think it was called Noir, And
Yep.
And he described what it was like. And that I get a little more because, it's a novelty and it's silly. But they argued that you could taste better, like a blind person or something.
Your senses are... Except I've heard that that's not true.
Yeah, that seems made up.
that like, if you take away one sense, you think that the other ones become stronger.
Yeah.
But it's more like you just use them more.
Right, you rely
They're
on
the
them
same
more.
strength. You just rely. Yeah, it's like not like
right.
Yeah.
Right, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I have a little update
Yeah.
remember last episode, a couple episodes ago maybe, we talked about the how much time it takes from the conception of a product to the production of it. Mm-hmm. Well, I talked to my brother, who's an electrical engineer, like in the electrical engineer department at, school. Mm-hmm. And I did not know. It turned into like an hour lecture on where products came from and all this stuff. And he gave me stories.
What did he tell you?
So he told me that the range is, especially for car manufacturers, is about 2 to 5 years, depending. And it matters if they have carryover major components. So if the engine is the same or major parts are the same, then it'll speed up production time. But he said a really good example of how how there is a time, like it does take a specific amount of time, was the story about the Honda manufacturers and Ferrari manufacturers, and they would go head to head and race in like Formula One racing. And there was a year where Honda came out with a faster, I think it was either Honda or Acura, but they came out with a faster engine that was going to beat Ferrari. And the owner of the company, I don't know, Honda or whatever, poured like a ton of money and was like, I have to beat Ferrari, and it became like this really petty thing. So it was like his own ego, and which is like nothing drives a production faster than a rich guy's own ego, and that was 2 years. So my brother was like, even with all of his petty stuff and him wanting to, it still took 2 years to do it. So that's kind of like that's the
fastest it could possibly
go
be.
Into. Yes, and I even double checked with an engineer in the auto business, like online, and my brother was exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of things that go into making something as huge and important, and you need to make sure it's safe as a car. Yeah. But like, I think we were correct when we said, I think they know what's going to come out in 10 years, at least conceptually.
And my brother said the military is like 10 to 20 years, like in the future.
Right, because they test crap that sounds cuckoo crazy, like a time travel, and just because if it is going to happen, they need to know.
Yes, yeah.
But it's when you find out about it, you're like, really? You're like, even the paranormal stuff, they don't care. They'll look into anything if it's going to help them.
Yeah.
Kind of bonkers.
And and it's almost like those big guys are predicting, however long in the future, and they're, doing like the AI stuff to I don't know, transform all these objects into more like artificial intelligence stuff, like the cars or the shopping assistants and all that.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff in between, like regular people are figuring out how to do this. Like I read all these articles about, like regular people who are using like the artificial intelligence to design products. Like one woman who had absolutely zero background in computer science or anything like that, but she wanted a product that would detect diseases in plants.
Wow.
And there wasn't an item for this, so she taught herself how to build a neural network for computers based on YouTube videos.
Come on.
And got this, I swear to God, it's the most insane story. I'm going to find her name. Her name's Shahaz Mehadi. Mahadi.
Wow.
And she created this botanical, like, kind of like a WebMD for plants that she used the same technology, like the foundation of the technology for like an item, like when you put a picture up to something and it detects what it is, like this is a toilet seat cover, this is a desk, this is a phone, whatever. She used that same thing and trained the neural network to learn all these images of plants. So she took like 10,000 different images of plants and then created this program that now you can just put the picture. She's tested it first on a sick grapevine, and it came up with the exact disease that the grapevine had.
Wow.
And she was like a regular lady.
Right, I love that. I mean, and if you want something with botanicals in it, you should try BioClarity.
Yes. Oh, my God. Their new product. Woo! Their serum.
Yes.
Dude.
They have a new serum that I'm in love with. I put it on every night now. I've just added it to my routine. But BioClarity is so great for if you want better skin, whether you have problem skin like me or not, because it's just a 3-step regimen that helps you get your skin where you want it to be, but it's not harsh, doesn't make your skin irritated because it has all these beautiful natural ingredients in it, like chlorophyll. And if you want to take the first step to healthier, more radiant skin, which I did years ago and now I'll never go back, go to bioclarity.com. Right now, our listeners, when you purchase a skincare routine, you'll get a free clarifying mask with your order. That's a $25 value for free, but you have to enter our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Go to bioclarity.com and use code BRAINCANDY at checkout to get free clarifying mask when you purchase a routine. I love their masks too. And it really does help. And most of their competitors are so crazily priced. This is a real bargain, so go for it. I really love what you were describing about when people that see like a void in the market or something missing that they need, and then they just go make it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, I'm so impressed with that.
And the crazy thing is she tried to find how to do it at her school. Like, she tried to look for classes, and there weren't any classes available. It said her school didn't offer introductory classes in computer science, and so she just did it all on YouTube videos. And, yeah.
There was a thing that a Brainiac tagged me in a while ago where I think it might have been Brienne, and a woman had built a whole house with her kids. She was a single mom, using YouTube videos on,
oh my God,
just the basics of construct. Well, not even the basics. I mean, that's advanced.
Yeah.
Construction.
That's badass.
It's so badass.
Oh my God.
And how great would you feel about yourself if you built your own family's house?
Yes.
I feel like that's something you would do.
The idea of, I would. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a great idea. And what a good lesson those kids are learning of, like, you want information, you can go get it anywhere.
It's pretty impressive.
I like that. I'm going to teach myself it just arrived. I'm very excited, but I'm going to teach myself how to play the ukulele. And I'm going to do it.
Finally came.
It did. I have to restring it though, because I could not find a left-handed version for under $200. So
I never thought about that. I must be right-handedness. What is that called?
Oh, well, I did. Right-handed.
Ist.
Yes, right-handed ist. Yeah. I did a lot of research into, how lefties play the ukulele, and most of them were like, oh, you just play it right-handed. And then a bunch of left-handed people were like,
no.
Easier said than done.
Right.
And so they really don't offer them, and, except for these crazy amounts of money.
What is the percentage of left-handed people in the world?
I heard 10 to 15%.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you guys are weird. It seems like there's more of you, though. It's kind of there's a name for that.
I think so too. I do feel like there's more, that the numbers are growing.
Oh.
But they say that and it's not seen as strongly in women because women already have the two hemispheres. Like, so the area of the brain that connects the two hemispheres, the corpus callosum, it's kind of like the highway by which information travels from one hemisphere to another, is larger, more active in left-handed males. So that communication between the left and right hemisphere happens more often. Women already have that strong communication between those two. So I don't know if there's an advantage from what I've heard for left-handed women, since it's already strong, existing. But you do see that in men.
My brother is left-handed, and he was forced to switch.
Oh,
he was one of those people that was, young enough at the time when that was still a thing that happened in schools, is
Yeah.
that the teachers just forced the lefties to write with their right hand. And that is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, my grandma was a lefty who was taught to write with the right hand, too.
I think it can be quite traumatic.
I think so, too. I think you're, like, shutting down, like, stuff that is supposed to be, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
connected.
And maybe
It's
it
weird.
served him in certain ways, and that, you know, he could maybe have greater success in a certain way because it was forcing part of his brain to act.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But I think that the trauma outweighs the benefits for sure.
However, there is a really interesting, like, therapeutic tool that you can do if you're dealing with, like, some childhood trauma or maybe some painful memories from the past.
Yeah.
Then sometimes we ask clients to journal with their opposite hand and write with their opposite hand because it can activate different parts of your brain. And also, when you go through traumatic childhood memories, writing, and it looks almost like childish writing, you're, like, more connected to that memory in a way, and it allows you to kind of process it in a different way.
Wow. It's
Yeah,
so
but
crazy that
it's big
something...
in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's like one of the things that they use of like use in like opposite handwriting to
I have never heard
heal
that.
the inner child.
Wow. I really have never heard that. And it seems odd. It seems like an odd therapeutic tool.
It does, but it really does work.
Huh. I'm going to try that. And what is supposed to
It's
happen?
like one of those things where it's just another tool in the toolbox. You know, it's like as you're processing things, as you're talking about things, you can also use this to kind of see, you know.
What is it supposed to do, though?
Like activate a different, like we were saying with the hand, like left
To help you remember
activate
something?
kind of a, not necessarily help you remember, but to just help you. It just like, you know, we never really know where memories are stored. They're kind of stored all over the place. So it kind of unlocks maybe like a different part of it, or allows you to look at it from a different angle, or maybe just connect with that. Like,
Are you supposed to be writing about your childhood at the time?
you can,
I'm asking
yeah.
you too many questions about this.
No, I would say yes. I think it's different for anybody. You know, I think it's whatever you write is going to be. It's almost like a stream of consciousness kind of stuff. Like just get out a pen and start writing with your opposite hand, and whatever you feel like writing and whatever comes out, comes out. And sometimes you'll be surprised at what kind of stuff comes out.
Gosh. See, this is something I feel like the brainiacs will try on their own. That's why I'm asking.
Please do. And then, you know,
Yeah,
make
do
sure
do
that
a
like
little...
anything, you have somebody to talk to, and, you know.
Aw, you're so nice.
Yeah, I think it's important.
All right, let's wrap this show up. But
Yeah.
we covered a lot of ground, Sarah.
We sure did. Some sciencey stuff, some shopping stuff,
Some semen in the arm.
some naked stuff.
I wish when somebody did something crazy like inject semen in their arm, I wish that they would tell who it was and like what they do for a living and stuff.
Oh my God.
I want to know more about this guy, unless
Yeah.
he's just sort of a dummy.
Just like
then.
I need the mystery of the doorbell licker.
Yeah, like I want to know who you
unsolved
are.
case.
See, this is part
Yep.
of my problem. That's why I write to
Yep.
killers. By the way, that reminds me, I wanted to ask the Brainiacs to help me. I'm sort of crowdsourcing something, which is, you know, I'm writing to these criminals, inmates, and I really want to hear about people who are in jail that I maybe wouldn't know. Like,
Oh, okay.
you know, the main ones everybody knows. Everybody knows the Unabomber and the various high-profile cases. I want to know if they've heard of one, maybe on a podcast, maybe in a book or whatever, where somebody did something, but it wasn't like they became a celebrity or anything. It's just they're in prison, they did this thing, and is interesting for whatever reason. And to have them let me know, because then I can look into it and see if they'd be a good fit for my project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's your call to action, people.
Yeah.
Find inmates.
Yeah, they could be murderers or pedophiles or kidnappers. I don't care.
Oh, my goodness.
Anything where you kind of want to know, like, what went wrong with this person and why did they end up in this position? That's what I'm looking for.
Interesting. All right. There you have it, people.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye, folks.
Bye.